All right, here we go, day 7. All right, the idea that came to mind after my meditation today was kind of about being that person and letting that energy of your soul, of your spirit, flow through you as the real person. Because yesterday I was talking about be who you are, but embody who you are. Like whatever it is, it doesn't have to be this. It can be like Jordan embodies basketball. Gretzky embodied hockey. Whatever it is, like you have to be that person. You have to embody what it is to be that, and do it with passion, and feel it while you're doing it. Like right now, I can kind of feel the conviction of this coming through me. And we all have that ability to channel whatever it is we want to be and whatever it is we want to embody. Like we have dormant energy laying inside of us. Like in school, I learned about they're called meridians. Like you have energy meridians, just like veins and arteries going through your body. And that's kind of what yoga does. Yoga like activates those meridians, and that's why the movement, and that's probably, and even moving probably activates them too. But that's what they taught us in my theories and practice of yogas class at LCC, was that we have those meridians. There's actually a meridian massage that you can actually follow. Maybe I'll post a video about that, like how to do that, because that really gets, and it's kind of like all that. It really gets the energy flowing, like trigger points. Like some of the points are like right here where that little concave is, and you kind of just rub on those and like get the energy moving. So it's kind of like acupuncture, where that's why they put the needles in the points, is because it releases the energy in that area. So we all have energy in our body. We're just not taught most of the time how to use it or how to awaken it. And I feel like that's what it is, an awakening of the energy that's already within you. We all have it. It's just sitting there. So I'm like, if we all got it, why not learn how to use it? Why not learn how to be it? Because when you turn it on and you practice these things and you keep, doing it, then it gets stronger and stronger. But when it lays dormant, it's just there, because like Reiki is kind of the same thing. You use symbols and stuff to channel the energy through you into another human being. Well, if you have the attunement to learn how to do it, there's symbols and stuff to activate the energy. I mean, there is other healing modalities that you don't need to use the symbols. You just kind of, you know, go on your palms and you envision and all that stuff. But the thing is if you don't use it, then it doesn't get stronger. It's just there. So that's the thing, is the more you use it, the more that it cleans everything. Because a lot of the time, the food, the thoughts, the way we're trained, with like negative energy and all that stuff, sometimes it'll block all that channel, all the mental energy, negative emotions from the past. Like there's all kinds of stuff that blocks that channel that comes straight down. Uh, if it's the chakras or whatever they're called, like the energy centers in our body that comes down and flows out. Well, that's what they use for the Reiki, is it comes down into your hands and you channel that energy uh, to the person. So it wouldn't actually be me. I would just be the vessel of the universal energy coming through us. But again, we've been taught that's like woo woo stuff, and it's like, no, it's there. It's energy. How do you think Bruce Lee used to punch people and knock them flying with the 1 inch punch? Because he knew how to channel that energy through his body into that thing. I don't know how to do that yet, but I've seen videos of karate masters in the East that have been able to do that, and I think that's part of the reason why, is they didn't want him to bring that information here yet. So that's why he was so small and was able to beat everybody up, because he knew how to channel that life force chi energy and use it. It's just that in the West, we usually aren't taught how to do that. Everything's taught about being physical and creating it, which we can too. But like, I took Tai Chi years back, and uh, my instructor showed us a video of this Tai Chi guy. And Tai Chi is like it's more like using the other person's energy and then like turning it around on them. And this Tai Chi master was whipping everyone's ass. I mean, it was crazy, like how good he was. And it's supposed to be like the most least combative, martial art. It's more of like a movement and side to side, but then you get going. So it's more about doing it really slow and letting the energy build. And then, but yet when you do that, we always think that force, fast, like all these things are like better and stronger and all that, when actually the thing that can bend and move and go with the flow and use that energy is actually stronger than anything. Because like I was watching a show called Mind, Body, and Kicking Moves a long time ago. It was years ago, and they were showing these masters, and obviously they said, "Do not try this stuff at home because if you're not know, if you don't know what you're doing, where they would, you might die." Well, these masters were taking like swords and sticking them in their throat and bending the metal because they knew how to focus their chi energy right here, and chi energy is the most strongest power in the universe, one of them. Well, it's stronger than metal. And then they were able to bend these swords. And I mean, I've seen it. I haven't seen that in personally, but I can feel chi energy. I used to do Tai Chi, and when you're done, you feel different than when you started. So, and that's the thing. Tai Chi activates that energy inside you too. Tai probably move. I don't know the exact definition, but Chi is the energy. So that's the thing, is learning how to do these things to activate that energy that's already inside of us. But we are the ones that actually have to do something. It's not going to activate itself. It's still there, but you have to do. And I think that's why, like when I woke up today, I kind of just shake the body out and kind of get it moving. You don't, even just a little bit of movement gets the energy, the circulation flowing, gets everything going, and then you embody and see and walk around and get that energy of it, and then it just starts to flow through you. But it's harder sometimes when you don't like clear the channel. That's why a lot of people do like energy healing and all that stuff. Like when we do pranic healing, we kind of cleanse the aura, cleanse all that negative and bad energy that's in your aura, and get it out. And then that way, once all that bad energy's out, then you can function at a higher level. So even like just doing, having someone do an energy thing like that on you is actually beneficial. It's just that, modern medicine doesn't really acknowledge it in the everyday, reality, because it's probably not going to, benefit the medical system that we live in. But that's a whole nother different story. But again, because having all that energy in there, because you got to remove the dirty energy first before you can put the good energy back in. So there's always that balance of good and bad. So that I feel like that's why doing the work, doing the meditations, doing the yoga and all that stuff, it helps expel, helps strengthen your energy, helps you be able to become more of the person you want to be. And it's like a combination of everything. And my thought process is try everything you can. This is working for me, but it doesn't mean it's going to work for everybody. But I look at it as try everything. And like Tony says, if that doesn't work, try something else. If that doesn't work, try something else. Over the last few years, I've done all different types of meditations, and they've all worked in their own ways. But like this new one that I've just been doing the last week is like, it's just getting more like energy and more like feeling and embodying the person I wanted to be. So it's almost like took me from having all this information, growing and being good, into taking me to that next step of actually sharing it with everybody, because that's what I want to do. Is we all have this ability inside of us, but it's up to us to decide whether or not we want to do it. And there's nothing wrong if you don't. I mean, that's what free will is. It's your choice to decide what you want to do. I'm just trying to help people realize that you can do it. It might take time. It might not be pretty. It might not happen overnight, but you got to start somewhere. And that's where that momentum builds, is to start doing it. And like, I don't remember if I said this before, but I probably did somewhere, but I'll reiterate it again, that uh, I would meditate one day and then not do it for a month. And then I'd do it again and not do it for a month. And then I wouldn't be able to do it at all. So then when I started listening to music. So I would lay on the ground with alpha waves on. And then I would be like gone. And then 45 minutes later, I'd wake up and I'd be like, oh, that didn't work. I fell asleep. and that's what I thought at the time, but it actually was working. It put me in that alpha state, and I was still kind of there. I thought I was sleeping, but looking back on it, I wasn't, because I didn't understand what state I was in, because I didn't know. So then I wouldn't do it. And then I would do chakra healing ones where I'd listen to the music. So I would do everything I could to have music on or listen to something, because I couldn't sit in quiet silence, just couldn't do it. So, so I had to start somewhere. I didn't realize that's what was going on, but that's what was happening. So I just started doing that. And then finally, like, and this was crazy, like, I just moved back home from school, and I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I was kind of in a different spot, and I was like, there has to be more. I want to do more. I just want to have more passion. I want to live in my purpose. And all of a sudden, like, I went on the Chopra Center's website, and Dr. Simon's doing this video. Like, they asked him the question, why do they come to the Chopra Center for your retreats? And he's like, people want to find their passion. They want to do more with their lives. They want to be inspired. And I was like, uh, is this man talking to me? Because he's answering every question that I had just been asking myself. And I was like, this can't be a coincidence. So I called there the next day, and within a few days, I, uh, found the funds to go on the retreat. And then I got there, and I'll tell the story of how I got there and the madness that went on to in the drive there a different day. But that was pretty crazy. But then I got there, and my first day, the guy said, have you ever done anything like this before? And I was like, no. And he was like, you won't be the same person when you leave here. And, I thought, okay, well, you know, sure, it sounds nice. I kind of believed him, but wasn't sure, still a little skeptical. Well, by the end of the 7 days, he was right. Now, it wasn't easy. There was a couple days I didn't sleep at all, because, like I said, doing the meditations, we were meditating for 4.5 hours a day, and it was pushing that energy out. It was releasing that negative energy that was in my field, and I couldn't sleep because of it, and I was releasing it. And that's what happens sometimes. That's why I say, if you don't always feel great after a meditation, it's all right. Sometimes you're releasing some negative stuff, and it takes a day or two to do it. And Dr. Simon explained that to us during the process too. So, like, some weeks I'd be like, oh my God, I just don't feel myself. And then I'd be like, oh yeah, I remember Dr. Simon said some days are going to be like this. Just fight through it. Just realize, sit in that and just feel it and let it go. And then all of a sudden, like the next day, a couple days later, all of a sudden I would just feel energized and awesome. And I was like, this is great. So it was kind of like a roller coaster the first year of kind of releasing and feeling great, releasing and feeling great, releasing and feeling great. So it was like a dance. But anyway, but I never even thought that I was going to meditate every day. And we meditated for 7 straight days, and then they told me, we've helped you with 7. Now we challenge you to do 14 more, because it usually takes 21 days to, create a habit. So it's like when someone challenges me to do something, it's like something inside me clicks, like, I'll do it. And I think I need to start challenging myself a little bit more. But anyway, so yeah, so that's what I'm saying. You never know what's going to happen. You never know when the breakthrough is going to come. You never know what's on the side, on the other side of whatever's next. I mean, I didn't know that I was going to do this challenge over a week ago. All of a sudden, I just had a conversation, and all of a sudden, there it is. And then all of a sudden, here we are, and I'm hitting it head on. It's been great some days. Other days it's been kind of off, but I'm always telling myself that no matter how I feel, no matter what goes on, get up, move, get the process going, and then see what happens. Because before I start doing the process, I start doing the meditation, sometimes I'm a little sluggish, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. And then I'm like, all right, let's just start shaking, let's just start going. And then all of a sudden, a half hour, 40 minutes later, here I am doing this video, and I got energy, I got emotion, I got excitement. So if I can do this, anybody can do this. You just got to want to do it, and you just got to have that passion, that fire, and that excitement, and just, make that choice to just do it. Like Nike says, just do it. And you never know where it's going to go, but at least it'll go somewhere. and then you can adjust after you see, like trial and error. Just keep going. All right.